What up, everyone? It's here. It's finally here. The month of February is over. And by over, I mean the boxes finally got here. It took that long. It's almost April now, and they've just now gotten here. But we have all the boxes for the month, and we can finally do the monthly review and find out who was the best, and also find out who was the worst. So, if any of you are tuning into this channel for the first time, welcome. Hi. The point of this channel is to help people find the best monthly box, because it just seems like every week a new one pops up. Every company out there is putting out a box. It's trending majorly right now. So if you're just getting into it, it's impossible to decide. Like, how could you possibly decide which box to get? That's what I'm here for. I'm going to try out all the boxes in existence and find the best one to help you guys out, so you don't waste time, so you don't waste money. This month we have 10 boxes. This is the most I've ever done individual reviews for. 10 boxes. So I apologize in advance because this video is going to be crazy long. I don't even know how long, but it's going to be super long. I suggest not viewing in one sitting. Maybe break it up into parts. But anyway, so we have 10 boxes to review. A few things about the month of February. I don't think it was the best month. I feel like a lot of these boxes are kind of like plateauing. They were really good at the start, and now they're kind of leveling off. Now that they have so many people that subscribe and they're getting in so much money, I feel like a lot of these boxes don't have to try as hard to keep customers because people are already there. So I've been seeing that happening a lot. And honestly, this month, there was no box that really wowed me. Like last month and the months before, it depended on how many were good and how many were bad, but there was usually at least one that was like, wow, this is like great, totally worth everything, if not a couple of them. But this month, I don't think there was any that were like that. They were all pretty in the middle. It was really hard to put them in order this time, so they were all pretty closely matched. It was pretty easy to find out like the bottom few, but the rest were all pretty tied up. So, let's get started. Let's jump right into it. No time to waste. So at the bottom tier of things, you guessed it, MyGeekBox. This company is very disappointing, not because of their product, but because of their business practices. So again, if you're tuning in for the first time, go watch the first video I did on MyGeekBox, the very first one, to get an idea of what this company is about, because they've done some very, very shady things that just aren't okay. As far as their product, it's been okay. It's not terrible. Sometimes it's been terrible. The first month I got it, it was pretty good. They had a really good value, but they just made me jump through hoops and a bunch of bullshit. And on a side note, I'm looking into some other boxes from the UK, and I'm having the same problem. I don't know what it is about the UK and why they hate me so much, but it's just a terrible hassle. And that has to go into account. And that's why this is on the bottom. Because honestly, the value wasn't that low. It was a decent value. It was about $40 value, and you paid about $30, and that's including shipping. And shipping's a lot because it gets shipped from the UK to the US. So the value wasn't that bad. The reason it's at the bottom is because of the business. Things you have to deal with to get their box. You're not just paying money, you're paying time, you're paying effort to get their product. And it sucks. And on top of that, I'll show you why else it was on bottom. Because of this. This flap right here. I don't know if you can tell, this is supposed to be straight. It's an action figure, it's carded, it's supposed to be straight. It's not. Because for some ungodly reason, they refuse to get a different box. Like, how much does that cost? Like 10 cents to get a different size cardboard box? Everyone else does it. NerdBlock stays the same, but Loot Crate, every month, the box is a different shape. Every single month. And you only pay them 20 bucks. If they can do it, these guys can. And this is the second month where the box hasn't been big enough, so they've jammed it in there. Last month it was a comic book, and they bent it. A comic book. They bent the comic book to make it fit. Same thing with this. If that hadn't been bent, this is actually a very valuable figure. It goes for at least 20, if not higher than that, online, because everyone knows Leonard Nimoy's passing makes his products very valuable. Although this isn't his likeness, it's still the Spock character. And what they did to this box is just like a total sign of disrespect. I almost want to contact this company and be like, you know the guy just died, right? Like, he just passed. And you're going to go and bend his package? Like, that's disrespectful. That's disrespectful. What happened to paying respect to the people that have recently passed? I think that's disrespectful to him and to his image, that you would do this, like desecrate his package. So this went from a very valuable item to a worthless item. And that's why the $40 value may not even be that high, because it's hard to put a value on this. Honestly, I think in this damaged package, I don't think it's really worth anything, because the values I put on it are what people would pay for, what I would pay for, what it would sell for. That's what I place the value on. And something damaged like this, I think would get barely anything. The package is everything. There's no point of keeping it in the package if it's damaged, especially this much. And the fact that it was in pristine condition and they purposely bent it because they didn't want to spend 10 or 15 cents on a new box, like, that's awful. That's so horrible. Poor Leonard Nimoy in his bent up box. That was just like a shitty move. And that's what I mean about their business practices. Like, that's just not okay. It's not okay to do things like that. It just shows that they don't care. The things they picked weren't that bad. Like, it was decent stuff, but how they treated it, it's like, I don't get it. But that aside, everything else in the box was okay. Like, you got a pop figure, Harley Quinn, and you got a t-shirt. I'm not going to go into the items individually on any of the boxes, because this video is already going to be long enough as it is. So if you want to know more about the individual items and specific pictures and stuff, refer back to the individual videos. Feel free, they're all there, so take a look at those. So we're just going to glaze over them. But the rest of the stuff in the box was decent. The shirt fit okay, the pop was okay, but this is practically worthless. The magazine is worthless because it had nothing to do with the box. The print is pretty much worthless too, so overall, that's why it got on the bottom, just because how they treated things. And that's a bummer, because I would have actually liked this figure. I would have kept this in honor of him, like, because I think it's cool. I would have really liked to have kept this, but I don't think I will now, because it's damaged crap now. So bummed out about that, and I feel like I'm owed an explanation at this point of why they think this is okay. Like, who okayed this to be like, yeah, oh, it won't fit in the box? Well, just cram it. Just bend it in half. Like, who's running business over there? And their customer service is god-awful. I've sent probably 30 emails, and I think I've gotten responses twice. And they've stolen money from me on various occasions. Like, so if you're in the U.S., I would definitely beware of this company. Like, I probably would avoid it, because there are just so many other options in the U.S., like, pass on that. And I'll let you know what happens with the other UK boxes, but so far, not so good. Like, I'm looking into Infinity Crate and Z-Box. Paid for both of them. They're not sending me anything, and insurmountable problems, but that's a different story. So number 10, My Geek Box, with good reason. So that's that. On to the next. Alright. So next on the list was a new box from a new company I hadn't tried before. Now, this company, it's not their monthly subscription box. They have what's called premium boxes. A lot of the companies do this, where it's not their monthly subscription, but they'll do special one-off boxes that are a higher price for very specific items. So this company, it's called Fanny Pack, and their Dragon Ball Z premium box, number 9. So I didn't try out the monthly subscription box, and after this one, I'm not sure if I will. I might, if I just run out of other things to try, I might give them a second chance, but this box wasn't terrible. I'm such a huge Dragon Ball Z fan, I really am. You can see the figures behind me. So it's pretty hard to disappoint me. But the items in here, just me knowing personally, like, how big of Dragon Ball is, it's like probably one of the most recognizable anime in history. It's such a big deal, especially in America. And of all the products out there, all the millions and billions of things, like, the stuff they chose was just very lackluster. We got a towel, a wall scroll, a lanyard, and some stickers and stuff. But and the stuff's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. It wasn't bad stuff, but it's just like, they have such amazing figures, like the ones that are behind me, that are such good quality, that are cheap, that they could have easily put in. There was no t-shirt of any kind, and this is the one time I would have actually liked a t-shirt. Most of the times, like, I could care less for a t-shirt, but this time I actually wanted one, because I don't have any Dragon Ball t-shirts. They're just not that prevalent around. So I would have actually liked one. And the value on it was roughly, like, close to $50, like a little bit over, and you paid $50. Like, $50 would have been good if it was a normal monthly box, but considering I paid $50, that's not okay. The boxes, for those of you who haven't watched before, the goal is to get double what you pay for. So many boxes do it, and I think all of them should. If you're only getting what you paid for, it's pointless. Because why wouldn't you just go buy that stuff yourself? Why am I giving someone else $50 just to give me $50 worth of stuff? They get it wholesale. They can get it much cheaper. They're just making a huge profit off of it. And that's just being greedy, and that's not okay. So, that being said, if I could have gone back in the past, I would have not gotten this. I would have taken that $50 and bought some really cool Dragon Ball shit. Some shirts, some figures, things I liked. So that's why it's hard to appreciate these things when you're barely getting what you paid for. You got a few dollars more. And granted, the stuff is still cool because I still like Dragon Ball, but the value wasn't high enough, and there just was very little creativity. And I always give boxes the benefit of the doubt, saying like, well, maybe that was just a fluke, but it very rarely is. I usually give boxes a second chance, but it's rarely ever just like a total fluke that happens. So I might try their monthly subscription box in the future, but as far as the premium ones, I don't think I'm going to do that again. $50 is way too much. That's too much just to be thrown around out there. And so far the premium boxes don't look good. Any of the other ones I wouldn't really appreciate. So that's why that one got number 9. So there you go. Fanny Pack Dragon Ball Z. On to the next. Alrighty. Next. Number 8. This one is from superherostuff.com. And this is their Deadpool box. Now, this is kind of like the last one, where it's like similar to the premium box. This was also $50. It's a very expensive box. They also have a monthly subscription box, which is different from this. But it's the same price, though. You'd have to pay $50 as well. This one, you got to choose your theme, which many boxes are doing nowadays. So I had trouble picking it. They basically had different characters, or there was one that was like a general theme. And I always try to pick a character that I like, but one that it's like hard to go wrong with. So I picked Deadpool. And I've gotten a Deadpool box before. And you gotta think like, man, Deadpool's such a popular character. How could you go wrong? It's hard to walk into any comic store or anywhere that sells geek stuff and not see something awesome that's Deadpool. So that being said, it's like, wow, how could they really go wrong with this, honestly? But then they always do. So we'll do a quick overview of it. It's because I have some things to talk about. First of all, they couldn't have picked a worse Deadpool shirt. Just because, again, nothing wrong with it, but this is just the most generic thing possible. Like, you gotta think, like, why would they pick that? Everyone's doing the same shirt then. So many people do a Deadpool box, and it's like, if everyone's picking the most generic thing, then you're gonna have a bunch of the same shirt. The whole point of these boxes is to be, like, creative, to, no pun intended, think outside the box. Put things in there that you can't just buy yourself. Exclusive stuff. Things that are hard to find. Things that people might not know about. That's what we like. That's what we appreciate. This isn't zero thought. There's no thought into that. And they valued this at over $20. So I'm going to talk about that for a second, which in the original video I said is total bullshit. And I said, wait for my monthly review. I'm going to go out there and find this shirt for cheaper. Lo and behold, I did. Like 5 or 6 people posted links for websites and stuff for this all day. And I'm like, yeah, thank you guys for that, by the way, whoever did that. Also, I ran down the street to the mall, JCPenney, walked in there, and guess what they had? $10. Not on sale, normal price, $10. Actually a good brand that fits better than this one, better quality and everything, exact same logo, $10. Like, no way is this anywhere near 20, let alone over 20. Absolute horseshit. So, on top of that, I think it was pretty ballsy of them to value this at over 20 because I checked their website later on that day, and guess what? They sell this shirt. How much? $17.99. Like, you dicks. Like, you're going to value it over 20 and you don't even sell it for that much on your own website. Your own website, you're selling it for $18, but you're going to try and trick me into valuing this over 20? Like, what are you doing? You think I'm stupid or something? Like, no. So their value of this was crap. So the reason you got poor value on this too, But the reason this did better than the fanny pack one was because they didn't promise very high value. They straight up told you if you pay a $50 box, you're going to get $70 worth of stuff, which that alone is not a very good deal. But at least they were honest about it. They weren't bullshitting about that. So that's the reason why it was a step up from the other ones, because they didn't get your hopes up. My hopes were pretty low before I got this box and dropped even lower when I got it. But anyway, even at that, their value was wrong. Like I said, not $20. This was, if they were lucky, this was $10. And did I write down the value? Let me see. 1 second. So yeah, with that shirt being as cheap as it is, and some of the other things which they way overvalued, you again barely got what you paid for. Barely. And yeah, I think I valued it at like $60, but I think it's even less than that, because you can find this shirt everywhere all day. Even though this is the Marvel brand, you can find it Marvel brand for dirt cheap pretty much everywhere. So I hate that they do that. One, that they didn't even give a high value. One, they try to push it by giving you bullshit numbers. Just because they sell a shirt on their site that much doesn't mean it's worth that much. It only is worth what people are willing to pay for it. And I guarantee you, they weren't selling this shirt on their website. That's why they gave it in the box. They gave a bunch of stuff in here that wasn't selling on their website. Things that they probably would have put on clearance, which they did, but instead they give it away in a box because no one's buying it, which changes the value. So just because you see it listed somewhere doesn't mean it's worth that. You got to look at the general thing where you could get it at a decent price, the lowest price you could get it, that's always available. That's not a sale. And I know I can get this for $10 at any point for the next like 10 years. It's not going anywhere. It's not hard to find. It wasn't rare at all. The one thing I did like about this box was the glass. That was cool. I'll probably use that because I drink beer a lot. But other than that, it was all very generic stuff, very cheap stuff. Nothing special at all. And I could have done a better box myself with Deadpool. The things I have in my room right now, I could have put together a better box for cheaper. So that one was very low. Those last two and this one were rightfully placed at the very bottom. They just were not good. Superherostuff.com, like, who do you think you're fooling here? I probably wouldn't ever do them again. I was thinking about doing one from a different theme, because like I said, I always give them the benefit of the doubt, thinking that maybe it was just that one box, maybe I'll give them another chance. But people have come up since then that have seen my videos and told me, like, hey, I got the Green Lantern one, or I got this one and that one, and they saw my video and said it was almost exactly the same. Someone said they got the Green Lantern box, same thing, the t-shirt, Green Lantern logo. A glass that was exactly the same. The socks, like everything in it was like exactly cookie cutter the same, just a different character. And I have a feeling if I got the Spider-Man one, which I wanted, it would be the same thing. And I would be so bummed if I just got the Spider-Man emblem and that was it. So I'm still always more curious than I am cautious, so I'm always willing to try something, which is always a big downfall. But honestly, even if I did, I'm pretty sure I know what to expect. Not a high value, very generic, poor quality stuff, so not a good company. I don't like their website either. And the funny thing is, I've checked out their website, they actually have really cool shit on there, like t-shirts and stuff, really awesome designs that I've never seen before. So that's why I gave them a chance, thinking like, if any of these shirts are in, I'm golden. But then they like go out of their way to like not give anything they advertise on the site and just their poor quality stuff. So enough rambling about them. They sucked, so that's why they're number 7. On to the next. Alright. Number, what are we on? 9, 8, 10, 9. Oh, so now this is number 7. Sorry. I thought that was the last one was number 8. Getting my numbers all confused. So the superhero stuff box was number 8, not number 7. 10, 9, 8. This is number 7. 10, 9, 8. That was 8. This is 7. Got it. So number 7, sorry for the confusion, Hero Crate. Now I actually really like Hero Crate. I like the company, but this month they just didn't please. The shirt they got was really cool. They had a really awesome shirt. I'll show it off really quick. Really cool design. I loved it. Turtles playing the whole Sin City thing, and the shirt fit beautifully. It was the good brand, the good printing brand. They did a really well job. It fit great. It's a good quality. It was so awesome. Like, the shirt was great, but everything else was crap. You did get a the Loyal Subjects Ninja Turtle figure, which those are good figures. I like that. But then that was it. The rest of it was an empty tin and a magnet that you could get for $1 online or make for yourself for like 25 cents, and that was all. Like they put in their art print, doing hand quotes, art print, which was this little tiny thing, which is just a card with an advertisement on the back, and called that an item. That's not an item. That doesn't count. So as far as I'm concerned, all that was in the box was the shirt and the figure. But even with all that stuff together, like on the low end, you only got $30. And that's what you paid for it. So the value is crazy low. And you know, Hero Crate's never been known for their high values. They're always pretty low on the value, but it's never been this bad. I still like them though, because they do put some thought into it, and the things they do get are nice quality. The figure they chose was a good quality figure. The shirt they printed was a good quality shirt. The tin was kind of a miss, and the print not so much, but usually they pick good stuff that you don't see every day. Last month in the Hellboy box, I missed that one and I'm bummed about it. You got some figures that were hard to find as it was, even after the box. They always put in stuff that's actually like new to me. I always usually see stuff in there where I'm like, wow, I've never seen this before, which I really do appreciate. So I'll still keep going with this box because this month it was a miss just because of the value, but I still love the shirt, and next month is Nintendo. I'm assuming it's Mario, so I'm pretty excited to see what they do. At least there's still thought put into it, so that's why I keep them around. As long as there's still thought, like, if they don't always get great value, that's okay. They don't have to be perfect all the time. But as long as they still are putting effort into it and I can see that, I'll still try them out. Obviously, this isn't a monthly thing. You pay for it each month individually. So you can pick and choose which you like, which is good. I appreciate that. And they're pretty obvious with their hints about who the character is going to be. So that's a good thing. So I'm still going to keep going with them. The only reason this was so low is because it was just such a low value. And that's all there is to it. But as far as everything else, I thought it was good. So if you're considering it, if you check out their website and you see a hero you like, I think I'd say go with it. Just know that you're probably not going to get a high value, though. You're going to pay $30 and you're not going to get very much more than that. So just keep that in mind when you order from that company, because they've never been high value. So just know that. But if there's a hero you like, I say why not? Because you'll probably like the stuff you do get there, because they're pretty smart about it. So they were okay. They were decent. That's why they're right around the middle. They just had a low value. So that was Hero Crate. Number 7. Good job. On to the next one. Number 6. Alright. Number 6 was 1UP box. So there really wasn't anything wrong with this one. There was nothing bad about it. So now that we're getting to the middle, like the 6, 5, 4 area of it, like right in the middle of the countdown, these are the boxes where they weren't bad at all, but they weren't great either. There was nothing good about it. And I'm starting to like 1UP box less and less. When I first got it, it was the best. It was by far the best. It was the coolest one, best value. It was awesome. But they've kind of been slowly going downhill. They haven't had a major drop. It's not awful or anything, but they've kind of just been like skating by these past like 2 months, and I just haven't been thrilled with it, and I don't think other people have either. The other thing I'm liking less about it is it's the cheapest box, which is good because it's cheapest, but it's also, obviously, it's the smallest box. You get barely anything in there. And that's why I'm always not that excited about it, because I know, like, even if it's a great box, you just don't get that much out of it. And I think other people will agree when I say I kind of rather pay a little bit more, like not much more, like the $20 or even $30 range for a monthly box, but get a bunch of stuff, because it's just that much more fun to get more items. So, because if you only get like 1 or 2 items, you have more of a chance of not liking it. Because if you don't like one, that's half the box. Whereas if you got a bigger box with a ton of items, if you don't like 1 or 2, that's okay because you got so much other stuff. And this one usually always comes with a shirt. And because that's most of the value, that's pretty much it. Like this one, you got a shirt and you got like a small figure, which I really didn't like. It was a very cheap figure, and that's usually it. Or if you get a pop, it's usually the pop figure and then like one small item. So it's usually based around one item and then like 2 or 3 sub items that are like a few dollars here and there. So that's always kind of a bummer. They can't ever go super high quality because there's just not enough money there. And this one was a decent value. You got about double what you paid for, which is good. but I only pay 15. Everyone else that's brand new to the company has to pay 18. So you got a little bit less than double. So for me, it's good because I'm getting a good price, but I have to take into consideration the price that everyone pays. And if you paid 18, you got a little less than double. So not much less. You still got a decent value, but again, like, and the shirt was okay. It didn't fit great, and I didn't like the figure. It was a very cheap wind-up one, very plastic looking, and it was just okay all around. And again, you didn't get that much stuff, and it's just always not as exciting as getting like a big box full of stuff. So hopefully they do something better next month to wow me. I hope they change it up. Like I don't want every box to just have one pop or one t-shirt and then that's it. Like I want them to change it up, do something different. I don't need t-shirts all the time. I don't need pops every time. Like do something different. Like change it up, guys. Like do something interesting. Do some research. Put in some cool small stuff. Or do a lot of small stuff and fill it up with cool stuff. I don't know. So this one I just haven't been that thrilled with lately, and that's why I was in the number 6 spot. So 1UP box. If you wanted to try it yourself, I'd say feel free. It's so cheap that like you're not really losing much, and that's the cool thing about it. Even if you get a totally awful box, you didn't spend that much, so it's just not that big a deal. It's not like you're losing out at all. So that's kind of cool. So I'd say try it out at your own risk, but try it. Number 6. Alright, we're halfway through and we're making decent time. So maybe this won't be as brutally long as I thought. Hopefully. So we are on to number 5. We're on the top 5 now. So let's see what we got. Number 5, Geek Fuel. So this was a new box I tried. This is the first month I've got it. And so far so good. I liked it pretty well. I thought they did a good job. I had heard good things about it. And yeah, I tried it out just on a whim and wasn't disappointed at all. So Geek Fuel, it was a little bit cheaper actually. This comes out to about $23.90. So about $24. And this one you got some good stuff. You got a cool t-shirt. Didn't fit super well, but it was cool. And you got a pint, which I really liked. I thought that was awesome. And I wasn't thrilled that I got Wonder Woman, but that's not their fault. And then you got some soap and some candy and a little magazine. So this one was good. They had some good choices and the t-shirt was cool. And it was some creative things. It was things you don't see every day. And that's what I like. It is taking a risk doing things like that because you may not make everyone happy by putting weird stuff in there. But I like that though. I like to see different stuff because so many of these boxes take the easy route. They like make a theme and they're like, oh hey, let's just go see what Funko products they have of this and just cram all those in there. Put a bunch of pops in there. Like Collectible Geek or a lot of these other companies will just cram it full of Funko stuff. And it's like, I'm so tired of that. Like it's nothing wrong with Funko. I love Funko. But they're just everywhere. It's not hard to find. If I wanted them, I would just go get them. They're not expensive and they're not hard to get. So I just like it when boxes like actually put thought into it and go search for things, which I appreciate. The reason this got a little bit lower, the value wasn't crazy high. It was like $30 to $40, so you got pretty close to double, depending on how you look at it. But part of the value of it was they have a coupon code for a game that they valued at $8, which I couldn't get to work. And it was a very specific game, and it's only on the computer, you couldn't do it on your phone, and it was an older game anyway, so I don't know if you'd still value that at $8, so that being said, like it wasn't that great, the coupon code thing, so, and I don't really like having that as an item because it's not something tangible that I can have, and it's not a game I was necessarily going to get on my own or anything, so that's the only reason why this is a little bit lower. But I have faith in this box. I think they did pretty well, and I think they will keep doing pretty well. So we'll see next month if it moves up or down in the ranking. But it was decent. I liked it. I like that they do nice presentation with nice paper in there, and they have their cool box, which isn't expensive to have a cool box, like other boxes that don't have their stuff fit in there. It's not expensive to do that. So that was number 5. Not much else to say about that. It was pretty average this month. We'll see how it does next month. Geek Fuel, number 5. Alright, on to number 4. Talking so much makes me thirsty. Oh, magnet. So number 4. this should be no surprise at all. This company is constantly in the top 5. This one, Nerd Block. So this is what I meant about spending a little bit more. This is a $30 box, which when I first heard about it, I thought like, man, that's a lot, 30 bucks, considering one up box was only 15. But it's usually always worth it because it's so much more exciting because you get a big box and it's full of stuff. Even if you get a t-shirt, there's always so much more stuff in there. You're not stuck with one item. And this one, I really liked the shirt, but it just was such poor quality because it didn't fit at all. Like, not that it wasn't my size, it was just like something went wrong with it, and I don't know. And I don't want to hold it against the box too much. I don't want to blame the box for that. But you know, I don't know who else to blame because it's always the same brand. They buy the shirts from the same company, but I have the same size for all of them, but one will fit perfectly, long enough, like sleeves are fine, and the other one's like a belly shirt. Like my belly button will show in this one if I wear this. And the sleeves are like out to here because they're apparently like the world's strongest man is wearing this with like gigantic biceps. Like, I don't know who this could possibly fit. This isn't specific to me. Like, I've never seen a person that is this shape. Like, I don't think people like that exist out there. And I'm not sure who to place the blame on, whether it should be the t-shirt company or if it's the box, if there is options to buy expensive ones and they're cheaping out. So I'm not sure, and I don't know if I'll ever get the answer to that. But that's why this one didn't get a higher place, because this t-shirt is useless to me. It's totally worthless to me because I just can't wear it. But one really good thing about this is we got an exclusive figure from Titans Vinyl Figures. And on my weekly roundup, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. I talk about Titans. They're a newer company, but they put out really good products. And the fact that you get an exclusive one, like, this is what I hope for and dream for in any box. Like, exclusive figures of things that I already like. Figures I already like, and now you get an additional exclusive one you can't get anywhere else. Like, that's the reason I started any of these boxes, because I found out about one months ago from, like, Funko in Loot Crate. Unfortunately, I'm not that familiar with Breaking Bad. I've never seen it. I know, shoot me. I've been meaning to, I haven't, so I don't have as much appreciation for this as most people probably do. But I'm sure anyone who has watched the show went nuts for this, because this is super cool. It's really good quality, and it's exclusive, and it's a really awesome figure. Like, it looks like the person, so they did a great job. So that made it all worth the while. And you got a #1 comic in there, even though there's a million of that Star Wars #1. That's okay. The rest of the stuff is just okay. Some of it was a little weird. So overall, it was better than it was worse. And this box, Nerd Block's pretty consistent of giving you around a $50 value. Like, it's almost always right around 50, which isn't perfect. You kind of would hope for double for 60, but 50 is close enough. Like, that's okay. It's not great. You're not gonna, like, it's not over the moon for it, but that's enough. I think that's enough. That's close enough to double where that's okay. So you got a pretty good value. You got good stuff. So #4, Nerd Block. Good job, guys. That company has always been consistent. It's pretty hard for them to do like a horrible box because, like I said, they put so much stuff in there. You always have so many options, and that's the good thing about it, because just the reality of the situation is you're probably going to like some and you're probably not going to like some. But the more items there are, like, the more variety you have, the better your chances are. They never have themes usually. It's always just a general nerd theme, which is okay. They don't have to have themes, but so yeah, they're always pretty consistent. They give a really good product. So they're more expensive, but I'd say they're worth it. So if you're looking to spend a little bit more money on a monthly box, I'd say they're the one to go with. But yeah, #4, Nerd Block. Next, #3. Getting up there, top 3 now. So this one, again, is usually always right around at the top. I don't know if it's ever been #1, but it's usually up there. And that is Loot Crate. It's because these guys know what they're doing. They were the original. They were the original, like, nerd monthly box. As far as I know, there weren't any before this one. They started the whole trend. And it's definitely a trend now. It is blowing up. Everyone's doing them now. They've been around the longest, and they have partnerships with Funko, which is like the biggest for collectibles right now. And if you can get a partnership with Funko, you're made. And this is the one I was talking about where they had an exclusive of the science fiction mystery mini, and I almost lost my mind. Like, that's where I was like, I need to get this box. They haven't done anything like that since then, which is kind of a bummer, but I hope they do in the near future. They kind of did with Kid Robot. We got an exclusive Kid Robot, but I was more pissed off at this than anything else. It was a do-it-yourself figure, and they advertised it all over, like, hey, we're going to have an exclusive Kid Robot thing. I was so excited for it. And then this came, and it was a do-it-yourself. Like, how that's exclusive, I don't know. I did some research, and I think it's the size, because they usually come in like 3 and 12 inch, and I think this is like a 7 inch or something like that, so I think that's what's exclusive. But even still, like, that's so lame, man. That's such a cop-out. Do it yourself. I don't want to do it myself. I wouldn't pay you if I wanted to do it myself. If I wanted to do it myself, I would. I would. I do it myself all the time. I do all kinds of things myself. But I'm not going to give you money for me to do it. I give you money for you to do it. Next time I give you money, you make a product and then give it to me. Don't give me something and ask me to do it. Am I your employee now? Like, are you paying me to do this? No. Did we get a discount on this? No. Then why do I have to put in extra work? No, thank you. But anyway, a lot of other people actually did like that. So when I posted the video, a lot of people said, like, well, I actually really like to do it yourself. I had fun creating it. And at the end of the day, the theme was play. So it was stuff to do. They put in a lot of games and stuff and things to do. Like, this is kind of like a craft thing. So when I thought about it, like, I guess it is fitting. Like, it's interactive stuff. That was kind of the point of the box. I still feel like it's a little bit of a cop-out. But it was in theme, and it's like, if you do like crafts and if you do like art, then it would be a good item. So I'm trying not to put too much of my own, like, opinion in there. I'm trying to do a general opinion, so when I hear back, I try to put that in there. And the other stuff was cool. You got some cool games and a good book. And I've heard the book was really cool. I've heard from a few people it's a really good book. And this Hexbug, which is so dope. This guy's so fun to play with. He's really cool. I like him. So he was really cool. So this one, in my personal opinion, wasn't that high up there. But hearing it from other people, they've said that they liked it, and things that I didn't like, they were okay with. So I think this is good. Plus, you got a very high value on this. You got well over double. On the low end that I valued this at, you got $40 worth, and you paid $20. On the high end, you got over $50. Like, you got like 2.5 times or something like that, like a crazy amount. Like, that's such a high value. And that's what Loot Crate's usually good for, giving you a really high value. Like, at that value, like, it's hard to be disappointed at it, because honestly, if I wanted to, like, just sell all this stuff, I'd probably easily make my money back and maybe even make a profit. Like, you can't be too mad at that. So with such a high value, like, that's just very impressive. And you can see they really put thought into it. Just even on the decoration on the inside of their box. Like, it's a game board. You fold it out and you play it. Like, there's always so much thought into it, and just every nook and cranny, every corner of this box, there's really thought into it. You can tell they have a whole team of people on this, and they have customer service and all that stuff. So this is like the model company. It may not be the #1 box, but it's still rules to live by for these other boxes, things that they should do. It's the little thought that counts a lot of the time. It just makes you look like an established company. People that don't want to pay 15 cents so their items don't get damaged, like, that's just bad business practice. That just makes you look like a bunch of dickheads that don't know what they're doing. These guys know what they're doing. Every month, the box is a different shape. They shape the box to fit the items, which is what they should be doing, because it's just not that expensive. And considering this is only $20, this is one of the cheaper boxes, and they're still holding their own against the bigger boxes. Like, that's great. They did a really good job, and they usually always do. The items aren't always great because they do have themes, so sometimes the theme isn't one you like, which is always unfortunate, because if you don't like the theme, then you're kind of not going to like the box at all. So when it's a bad box, it is a really bad box, and that kind of sucks. But other than that, they're usually always good with their products, so they deserve the #3 spot. Good job, guys. #3. Alright, #2. We are getting up there. Almost done. So, #2 is a newer box, and last month they didn't do good. But the #2 spot goes to Geek Me Box. And I try not to, again, put too much of my own personal opinion in there, and I try to, like, take into consideration what other people might think. So, this one, you got really cool stuff. You got a cool figure, you got a good quality action figure, you got a fun shirt that fit perfectly, and an awesome keychain. And then the filler was some cards which were still cool. Like even their smallest item, the filler items, were still pretty cool items. Now the only thing about it is the figure, it's a really good company. McFarlane Toys is one of the best toy makers out there. I've always been a fan of McFarlane, ever since day one. Spawn's my favorite, always has been. The only problem with this is you would have to like action figures, and you would somewhat have to like Assassin's Creed. So it is kind of a niche market for this. It's kind of specific. It was okay for me, but I have a feeling that it wasn't for everyone if they didn't like that game or if they didn't like action figures. But I still thought it was good because it's a good quality figure that even though everyone may not have liked it, the quality was so high, like it's hard to hate that. Like it still shows thought. There's still the thought put in there, and it still made it a good product. And the Sonic figure, same thing. It's a good figure. It wasn't a cheap one. You can find cheap Sonic figures all the time for like a couple cents. But this is a good one. It's a good quality figure. And the same with the shirt. They put thought into it, and it fits well. And this keychain is just plain fun. Like, it's an awesome keychain. It's fun to play with. And the cards, again, I love Dragon Ball Z. Like, it was awesome. So this got so high because I liked everything in the box. Everything in the box was good quality. It all fit well. It all went well. And the value was pretty high. So you got somewhere between like 53 and 65. So around there, like, and again, that's pretty close to double. It's about as high, or it's about as close to double as you're going to get with boxes. So high value, good quality, lots of products, good products, thought put into it, like the 5 major things right there of what you need to be in a box. Like, it hit them all. It may not have hit them perfectly, and not everyone may have liked everything, but I think it at least touched on every point of those. And if you were rating it on each one, giving it individual scores, it would have gotten a high overall score. So I thought it did very well, and I'm excited to see what they do next month. Good job, Geek Me Box. You earned the number 2. Next. Alright, had to take a quick break because my camera battery's dying. Had to replace it. But it's time. It's time for the number 1 box. These are delicious, by the way. I had to switch drinks 3 times while recording this because I keep running out because I'm talking so much. My mouth is dry. Mike's Hard Strawberry Lemonade. If you haven't tried it, check it out. This is probably the most delicious drink I've ever had in my life. Super girly, like mega girly, no doubt about that, but taste awesome. Try it out. Alrighty, so here we are. And who does the number 1 spot go to? No surprise here, Arcade Block. Now, Nerd Block and Arcade Block switch every month. Last month, Arcade Block sucked, and Nerd Block was okay, and then before that, Arcade Block was awesome. They gotta go back and forth. But honestly, I didn't think this would happen, but I'm starting to like Arcade Block a little better than Nerd Block. I don't know. Which is what I was saying earlier, where I think I like themes. I think I like themed boxes. I think I'm usually more happy with a theme. The more specific the theme, the better. That's why I like Hero Crate. You couldn't be any more specific. It's one character. And the other boxes have themes. Arcade Block technically doesn't have a theme, but its whole box is one theme, like arcade stuff. So I gotta say I do like that. And everything in here was great. I didn't dislike anything. The mouse pad was cool. It had Hyrule, and so many people have talked to me about the practical uses of mouse pads, which I had no idea about. Good to know. The figure was awesome. It was a cool little figure. The shirt fit really well. I really liked it. It was from Legend of Zelda. This was from, can't remember which one this was. Majora's Mask. That was from Majora's Mask, and it fit really well, and it was a cool color, like awesome. And that was the Sonic figure. And one of the things I loved about this, which I thought was awesome, was the Starbucks Star Fox mug. This one is just beautiful. Like, I love that. That's so cool, and it's funny, and it's original, and it's good quality. Like, I really like that. It was a cool little funny joke, and it's something exclusive that should be exclusive that you're not going to find anywhere else, and I thought that was just great. I genuinely like that item. And you got the keychain. I'm bummed that I already got the keychain in the number 2 box, but that's my fault. Everyone else will love this keychain because it's awesome. It's a really awesome keychain and it makes sound and everything, so that was cool too. Everything in this box was just fantastic. I liked all the items genuinely. Even the little figure, which I dropped. Even the little Build-A-Figure. I ended up building him. And here he is, Metal Sonic. And he even like stands on his own, and he's pretty good quality. I like him. They did a good job. So, yeah, it was a really great box. And the value of it was somewhere between 50 on the low end and 65 on the high end, which is great because that means this box almost or practically got double what it was worth, which they never do. The box never goes that high. It's much harder for the expensive boxes to double the value, but this one, on the low end maybe not, but the high end it definitely did. And it put out some cool products and some creative ones where you put some thought into it, and it wasn't just a random thing. It was really well thought out, and I genuinely liked it. And I think video games is a good theme, and I'm kind of happy too because they've strayed away from like current games a lot. They stick to classic games, not always, but a lot of the time, which is what I liked. I've mentioned I'm not a huge gamer. I definitely like games, but I'm not a big-time gamer. I'm just not. I know all the classics, though. I know Mario, I know Zelda, I know Donkey Kong. I played all that shit, like, back in the day. But as far as current games, I don't keep up with them. I like the biggest ones, like Smash Brothers and Marvel vs. Capcom. But all the other ones, like, I just don't have time for and I don't keep up with. So I'm glad they don't do too much of that. I'm glad they keep it more broad to please the masses, which I appreciate. So that's cool. And I see stuff in here that isn't generic. It's not a pop figure. It's nothing you're going to find every day. It's creative stuff. It's creative stuff and it's decorated. And you get a lot of stuff in there. Like, it's really good. I was pleased with it, and it's a fun box. You're always excited when you get a nerd or an arcade block because it's just packed full of fun stuff. Now, that being said, this box, if it was in any other month, it wouldn't have gotten the #1 spot. It's sad to say, but I feel like this box got the #1 spot because all the other boxes kind of sucked. Because this one was still good, but it wasn't amazing by any means. Usually there's one or two that are amazing that take the 1 and 2 spot. But those are absent this month because so many just like were subpar this month. So if this one got like bumped up, this would have been in 3rd place, but it got bumped up to 1st because just no one else could like take the torch. Which kind of sucks to win that way, but hey, you're in the #1 spot. Can't argue too much. So I have hope for next month. Hopefully next month will be better. But here's hoping for that. Next month, a lot of new boxes coming. A lot of old, a lot of new. I've got them. I see them right now. I have like 6 or 7 already just waiting because they all come on the same day. It's crazy. And I'm going to be super behind on my unboxing. So video floods are just going to be coming left and right. They're going to be pumping out. So look forward to that. Getting a bunch of cool new items. So yeah. There's going to be some cool weekly roundups, and also a YouTube page has been created. I'm going to do another weekly roundup and do my 500 subs giveaway. I have a winner, and a new YouTube page that's been created for me, Beardy Nerd fan page has been created by one of my users. So go check it out. Go on Facebook, look me up, like it, friend it. All that stuff, like comment on it just to get that page going, because as soon as we send that out we can get more viewers in and then just like get more subscribers. So go check out the YouTube page if you can. They're very much appreciated. Other than that, just some shout outs to people that have helped along the way. It's been a big month, so thank you to everyone. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Thank you to all the people that have been like consistently commenting and always have nice things to say. I love chatting with you guys. I love talking with you all. It's always fun. I'm going to keep it up. So we'll see what March is. We'll see what kind of boxes we get. And sometime in April, hopefully not May, we'll be able to do the next monthly review. But this one wasn't too bad. We sped through a lot of it. So hopefully I'll have to edit the footage. We'll see how long this video actually was. But overall, pretty disappointed with a lot of these boxes, but just a lot of okays. Let's hope for next month. Let's look to the future. Anyway, I've been Beardy Nerd, and I just want to say, I love you all. Peace.